Tennessee. I wanted to come see this waterfall today, though it's a little chilly, a little icy out here. I wanted to come see this waterfall just because, I don't know, I felt like I needed to today, but it's over here. Woo! A little slick out here. Hard to see fully as of now. There it is. You can sort of see it. Ugh. Pretty slick out here today. I don't want to be too stupid. But like the title says in this video, when do we stop living for the screens and actually return to where we are supposed to be, right? In the 3D world. Can I? Yeah. You know, I remember I got an iPod Touch in 6th grade. And this was like just when, like early iPod Touch, just when the maybe 2nd or 3rd generation, just when the first iPhone 3G was coming out. And it was really interesting because that was probably really my big transition from just being a kid playing outside, watching some TV here and there, but not really having a personal device yet. And then now, everything has become the personal devices, right? So much so, this is loose, whoops. Everything is the personal devices now. So much so that people watch movies and TV on their laptops and phones, right? People don't even watch on their TVs anymore. Because why? Why not watch it on your personal device? And it's interesting that over time, because of the internet and because of specifically smartphones, specifically the iPhone, we have moved more and more and more into living for the screen world and to projecting our power and our energy into these devices to communicate with the people that resonate with us. But at some point, there does need to be a flip back, right? At some point, we're going to move away from communicating to people that are important to us or that are on our wavelength over the internet devices, and there will have to be a new localized community created. Because right now in our physical 3D world, this whole world is still a holdover from the 60s and the 70s and the people who really took over the world very strongly in a direction in that time frame. Obviously, you know, this stuff's been going on forever and ever and ever, but very specifically now, our 3D world has been constantly and regularly attached to this old world system, right? Everything we've done in the past, where everything is Walmart and fast food and gas stations, and we all go to the colleges that don't really teach us anything of value, and we live our lives for money. That has been dominant culture 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Now we're morphing, now we're growing, now we're changing. How? We're changing because of our access to truth through the internet. We're changing because of our access to information. We're changing because for the first time in so long, key, important, valuable information that actually uplifts your soul can be found through the internet. Which is beautiful. And now that I think those who have been seekers, those who have wanted to understand the truth, those who have wanted to integrate that truth and seek it, have been doing so for a while now. Like for years and years, because of the internet, because of the access to information and the access to truth that has been there. And so now, I believe, even like with the ban of TikTok, as TikTok goes from this super optimized truth machine literally built for the smartphone touchscreen system, even more than YouTube, even more than OG Instagram, all of this, now that it is starting to change and be subdued, I think it's likely that the end of TikTok is likely to be a part of a resurgence of people finding each other in the physical world and no longer relying on the screens and the internet to connect us, but that there can actually be a real physical connection as well as a emotional, intellectual connection. And that, I think, is what the new world is going to be. The new world is really very simple. It's just a reorganization of people. And so how will this human reorganization take place? I have no idea. But what I do know is it's going to be an organic thing, and it's not going to be stoppable. It will just happen. The stage is already set. Truth seekers on the internet have found much of the truth that they were looking for. And now it becomes a question of, when does that mental and emotional reality start to transmute itself more and more and more and more into physical world, into the 3D? That is the question. When do we move away from talking and thinking? And what is it that forces movement? What is it that actually forces change, forces physical growth to take place? Again, I don't know. And I think it's too big to pinpoint and predict, but change is coming. And that change will be quite simple. All it needs to be is a reorganization of people, a gathering. That's all. All it takes is one strong gathering of truth seekers, and the world will begin to shift. And it already has begun to shift, but that shift will then start to come forward into the 3D world. Look at this disgusting sign that they put into the tree. Who made that decision and why? Anyways, this will not be stoppable. You know, there was a moment on TikTok, part of the reason I think it got subdued as it is now, and it's full of ads and not real, is like just a little sliver of truth coming through, but most of TikTok now is just ads and regurgitation and marketing campaigns. But back in March and April of this year, or not this year, but 2024, well, I guess this year from a solar perspective, but last year from a Gregorian perspective. But yeah, like people wanted to meet up. There was a sense of, hey, look at all this information that we're all learning together. We're all seeking truth. Let's find a place to meet up. And that was where there was a quick shift as well. I think that the second that there was a sense of, hey, how do we actually move all these ideas that we have into a physical 3D gathering? The second that happened, there was some resistance. And that resistance will stay. But it can't win. And it's only a matter of time. So if you're a true seeker on the internet, keep seeking truth. Do not let other people tell you that you're crazy, or that you're a wacko, or that you don't know what you're talking about. If you are seeing and feeling truth, don't deny that to make other people happy, or to make them not have to deal with their own emotions and shadows and ego and all of that, right? It's fascinating how much you seeking your truth can frustrate and force others into their truth by simply interacting with your power. It's kind of beautiful. And I think there's going to be a lot more of that going on as we continue forward. So next time, well, you're holding your phone or your laptop, or you're watching this right now, at some point, we'll stop being in this reality of the digital screens, and how useful and wonderful it has been. Very helpful for us. Very helpful in learning and seeking truth. Literally, that's what the internet has been, is a literal silver platter of truth and knowledge for those who have decided to take it up. And it has been a cesspit of useless, mind-numbing, brainwash content for those who have decided to use it in that manner. But the internet, what you're viewing on screen, the internet is an expression of your mind. Because there's so much, all the algorithms and all this optimization that has been constructed so that you watch the best video that's gonna hold your attention the longest at a particular time. It's literally showing you your own soul on screen. If your feeds, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, if they're full of constant garbage or just funny things, it's always just random stupid memes or like deep bake meme, all this stuff, like, that's showing you your own mind. And that doesn't invalidate your mind necessarily. Look at this tree. Big tree. It doesn't invalidate you, but it does show that you have an immaturity to your thought process. If day in and day out, all you're doing is looking at stupid stuff online, right? There is no, you're not growing. It's not a way to grow. You have fallen into that trap. And again, I've watched a ton of stupid stuff online. A lot of random videos. And that's part of it. That's part of the internet experience, and that's part of, you know, the yin yang of the internet experience that we all have, right? We've all seen useful, helpful stuff. We've all watched stupid videos. That's part of it. But be aware, pay attention, because I feel that it's very likely that as society changes, as people start to find their clique, find their culture again, a lot of that is going to be defined on how you spent your time on the internet. Did you spend that time learning, growing yourself, projecting yourself out to other truth seekers? Or did you spend that time only consuming useless content forever and ever? But either way, I think the new world is going to be sweet. And again, all it is people meeting up. All this talk of what must we do? New world, new construction. We gotta make buildings like the Tartaria. No. All we have to do is gather. All we have to do is gather as a community. Am I still recording? Yes, good. All we have to do is gather as a community. Because we are the energy pylons. We are the power. We don't have to get it from somewhere else. Our bodies, our spirits, our souls are what is required to have not only an ascension in consciousness, but an ascension of the 3D reality. Seeing the 3D reality in a different way, and then being able to manipulate it. But that requires a working together of many people. And when the gathering happens, I hope to see you there. See you tomorrow.